Hi everyone, warm welcome you all. Friends, the topic of today's video is important facts on Elizabethan era. Yes friends, in this video we will discuss some key facts and key points of the Elizabethan era, which was known as the golden age of English literature and which was known by the name of Queen Elizabeth I. Yes friends, this was the time duration. The Elizabethan era started in 1558 and it was लास्ट टिल 1603. ये 1603 तक का इसका टाइम ड्यूरेशन था 1558 से लेकर के. एंड दिस इज द टाइम दिस वाज द टाइम व्हेन Elizabeth first ruled over England and how England was flourished during her time. That's why literature of the period during that time was known as by the name of Elizabeth I and Elizabethan era. So without any delay, let's jump into the topic. Important facts on Elizabethan era. Friends, here we have the important facts of Elizabethan era, and let's discuss the first point. The Elizabethan era took place from 1558 to 1603 and is considered as the golden age of English history. Yes, friends, this time from 1558 when Queen Elizabeth first ascended on the throne of England, and in every field of England's history, like we are talking about, if we talk about political, economical, social, in all fields, that this period, Elizabethan era, the ruling period of Elizabeth I, is one of the most famous period of history of England. Next, we have the Elizabethan era is perhaps most famous for its theatre and the works of विलियम शेक्सपियर. यस फ्रेंड्स, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट इन लिटरेचर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, अगर लिटरेचर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू की तरफ से हम बात करते हैं तो दिस पीरियड द एलिजाबेथन first period was Elizabethan age was one of the most famous period because of its theater. Yes, the play written by the play performed in theater, and there that was the live performance before the audience. That's why, and also because of Shakespeare, because Shakespeare has written many of the plays, and that play were performed in theater. That's why people get enjoyed, people were feel enjoyment, and they always uh, wait for the theater plays performed in the theater. That's why this period, Elizabethan era, if we talk about in literature point of view or history of literature, then this is regarded as the one of the important period of history of English literature. Next, we have Queen Elizabeth never married nor had children. She said she was married to her country. Yes, friends, this was the one of the fact that Queen Elizabeth first was never married to anyone, and she had no child. She had not adopted any child, and she said that she had married to her country, that is England, because she is here to serve England, and that's why this period she has given all her wholeheartedly, she has given all her mind, all her heart to the people of England. Next, we have Queen Elizabeth was highly intelligent, could speak many languages, including Latin, Spanish, Welsh, and French. Yes, Queen Elizabeth I was very intellectual personality, and she had the knowledge of many languages, like we have Latin, Spanish, Welsh, French. She knows all most of the languages, and that were spoken in the time of the England at her ruling period. To the next important fact of this period. In 1588, the Spanish Armada is destroyed by England's fleet, means by England army. Yes, friends, this is one of the most important things that happened in the during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. This time in 1558, Spanish Armada was destroyed by England army or English army. And sometimes questions is also asked in your exams related to this, when Spanish armada is destroyed or defeated, कब उसको हराया गया by England or by English army, then the answer would be 1588. Next, we have in Elizabethan times, society divided into a strict social order that included six classes. Yes, friend, that time the society was divided into six parts and six class. There were six classes at the time of Queen Elizabeth I, and that were the monarchy or of the queen herself. She was were at the first place, and she was above all. The nobility on the second place, gentry third, the merchant class fourth, human class who were the tradesmen, they were on the fifth position, or they were the fifth section of the society, and the last one is laborers. So that was very easy to things from which category or from which section the people belongs. They were categorized in six parts. Queen Elizabeth was above all. She was in the first class, and she was in a monarchy. And the nobility, gentry, merchant class, human class, which is called ट्रेड्समैन जो व्यापारी लोग हुआ करते थे, एंड लास्ट वन इज लेबरर्स जो श्रमिक हुआ करते थे. दैट आर so these all are the six section, six social order divided by the society, divided by the ruling queen of Elizabeth first. Next we have, during the Elizabethan era, the bubonic plague, the black death, killed one third of England population. Yes friends. And friends, this was the time when in 1592 to 1593, this was the time when the outbreak of plague happened during the reign of Elizabeth first, and that's why it was one of the major incident happened during the time of the Elizabeth era. And the bubonic plague, which is known as the Black Death, killed many people of England at her time. Next we have, both women and men during the Elizabethan period wore their collars very high. Influenced by the Spanish fashion, using purple cloths were also a symbol of royalty. Yes, friends, we talk about the traditional outfit, or the what's the outfit, what was the fashion of that time during the Elizabethan first or during the Elizabethan era. Then women and men during the period of Elizabeth first, they यूज्ड टू वियर देयर क्लॉथ कॉलर्स हाई. उनके कॉलर्स जो होते थे वो हाई होते थे, वो नेक उनका जो होता है वो हाइड होता था, इसमें छिपा होता था, एंड वो ऊंचे होते थे. एंड दैट वाज इन्फ्लुएंस बाय द स्पेनिश फैशन. स्पेनिश फैशन से वो इन्फ्लुएंस हुआ हुआ करता था. एंड यूजिंग wearing purple cloths at that time in Elizabethan era, that was a symbol of रॉयल्टी. वो रॉयल्टी की एक निशानी होती थी अगर उस टाइम पे कोई पर्पल क्लॉथ्स पहनना करता था. सो देयर वर द फैशन of the time in Elizabethan era was that people used to wear high collar, very high collared cloths. Next we have, the Elizabethan age saw the flowering of poetry, the sonnet, the Spenserian stanza, dramatic blank verse, and was the golden age of drama. Yes, friends, this was the period when university wits writer were also flourished during this time. And if talk about the point of view of the best time of the drama, that was because of William Shakespeare and also Christopher Marlowe employed blank verse in his plays. Blank verse को उन्होंने यूज किया brilliantly अपने dramas में, and that was also followed by William Shakespeare. So this was the time when drama was flourished on its high. बहुत ही ज़्यादा ये flourish हुआ था, and it was on the top of literature. ये literature के top में था. In every genre of literature, drama was on its high mark, on its top during the time of Elizabeth first, because we have so much brilliant dramatists at this time. If we talk about university weights, if we talk about uh, William Shakespeare, so these are the playwriters and dramatists who had given very much contribution, who had contributed English drama at the very higher level. The next we have, English poetry flourished, including the sonnets, famous poets including Edmund Spenser and William Shakespeare. Edmund Spenser dedicated his epic poem Fairy Queen to Elizabeth first. Yes, friends, not only drama, but we talk about, if we talk about poetry's point of view, then poetry or English poetry was also flourished, also on its higher rank during the time of Elizabeth. If we talk about Edmund Spenser and William Shakespeare, they had composed very brilliant poems. The sonnets written by or composed by William Shakespeare, they are all its high mark, they are all brilliant. And also Edmund Spenser, which was he had composed epic poem The Fairy Queen, and this Fairy Queen was dedicated to एलिजाबेथ फर्स्ट एलिजाबेथ फर्स्ट को ये डेडिकेटेड था जो एडमंड स्पेंसर ने अपनी एपिक पोएम लिखी है. एंड इन एपिक in Fairy Queen, he talked about he was very much impressed with the ruling queen of the time, Elizabeth I, and he also praised the Tudor dynasty. उन्होंने ट्यूडर डायनेस्टी को प्रेज किया है, उसको बहुत ही हाईली उसको रिकमेंड किया है, उसको हाईली वर्ड्स यूज करे हैं उसके लिए. एंड ऑल्सो एलिजाबेथ फर्स्ट को ये उन्होंने डेडिकेट किया है. सो we talk about sonnet point of view, poetry point of view. Sonnet was one of the most important genre, most important term of poetry that was used by the most of the poets of Elizabethan era. Next we have, and the last is the original theatre was built in 1599, destroyed by fire in 1603, and rebuilt in 1614. That was the Globe Theatre. The Globe original theatre was built in 1599, जो कि Globe Theatre था, where English plays or dramas were performed by the artists, and it was built in 1599. ये built 1599 में built हुआ था, बनवाया गया था, and destroyed by fire. It was there fire was caught in the year in 1613. 13 में वहाँ पे आग लग गई थी, and that's why it was destroyed. But it was again rebuilt in 1614 by that's so that the dramas were performed easily there by the plays written by the dramatists. So the Globe Theatre was also one of the most important theatre of the time of Elizabethan era, and most of the Shakespeare's plays had been performed there by the artists. So friends, this was all we had discussed, some important facts related to the Elizabethan era. Also talked about the life of the Elizabethan first, Queen Elizabethan first, who brilliantly reigned in England during this time from 1558 to 1603. That's why this time in English history and in literature, English literature history is known as by the name of Elizabethan first. And we have also seen many poets, many dramatists who were renowned and who gave very much contribution to the English literature, like Shakespeare, like Christopher Marlowe, and also we talk about the Edmund Spenser. These all are the important poets and writers, dramatists of this time. So, friends, this was all we had in today's video. Thank you very much for watching this, and keep connecting with EngLIT Zone.